Disclaimer, I began working on this, I kid you not, months before June restarted a lot of the lore and whatnot for PRISM, but I didn't want to redo this because 1, I was already about halfway done by the time, and 2, the reason why this video took months in the first place is because I gave myself a lot to do at a very busy time, so progress had been slow. Doesn't help that I'm also a master procrastinator. Hello! Welcome to Atticus Creates AU Designs for his own OCs. As I'm sure you can surmise from the title, we're drawing 2 of my beloveds from Destiny Alderaan as PRISM Magical Girls. For those who don't know, PRISM, made by Jinja Ninja OWO here on YouTube, is a magical girl story that's currently in pre-production as of the making of this video. If you want the whole scoop, I highly recommend checking out their videos on it. You'll get a much better idea hearing from June himself than from me because I can barely keep my own story straight, let alone other people's. Links to their PRISM playlist will be in the description. I'm not going to focus too much on a story, to be honest, merely designs, as I thought it would be super fun to work within the design rules that June had set in this video. That, and because I needed an excuse to draw some of my OCs more. Those rules essentially are: 1. Magical girls have main and accent colors, the number of which correlate to their strength. Most only have 1 of each. The prevalence of the accent colors represents the strength of the magic. As of that video, shades of main colors count as that 1 color for sake of variety. And black and white are not counted as colors in this sense. Vibrancy shows magic battery. Lower saturation means magic is wearing out and needs to recharge. Hair is exempt from the color rules. 2. Outfits and weapons have their own themes. They can correlate, but it is not necessary. Teams also have a collective theme. Generally, the designs are more, to quote June, a magical girl inspired by X instead of a fancy version of X, which I use as an excuse to make my themes super vague, in part because I was worried that the amount of time I knew I would be spending on this would cause me to forget that part. 3. Weapons are made of solid light no matter how they look. As I was working on this, the story has been rebooted, so these rules may or may not carry over into PRISM 2.0. I don't know yet, but I'm sticking with them for the sake of the challenge. First up is Robyn, who doesn't really have a story of Destiny Alderaan at all aside from just being Juno's sister. Hell, she technically doesn't even exist in the Destiny Alderaan multiverses. She's kinda just a mannequin with a personality, and while I have thought about it, I don't think I want to change that. I'm totally fine with having one nebulous character that I can dress up like a doll. Anyway, I knew I wanted to utilize her favorite colors, pink and orange, so I made pink the main color and orange a general accent. I decided her outfit theme should be crystal, which I chose to incorporate through crystalline patterns in the coloring on her dress and by giving her some jewelry. Generally, I think magical girl designs tend to show off the legs more than I did for her, which makes a lot of sense given that they have to stay mobile, but given that a lot of my characters tend to be more modest, and that I decided Robyn would have a ranged weapon, I justified giving her a nice full skirt. Speaking of which, her weapon is a deck of tarot cards that she uses like throwing stars because I absolutely love throwing card weapons. I think they're so fun and I don't see them used a lot. If I were to make a PRISM Sona, I would absolutely give myself the same shtick, just playing cards instead of tarot. And the fit would be like 1920s themed or something, I don't know. With Juno's design, I really wanted to push the boundaries of how strong I wanted the character to appear, which I justify with the fact that Juno canonically is an otherworldly, godlike being with limitless power that has the ability to change whatever the hell they want about literally anything in Destiny Alderaan. They are objectively the strongest character out of my entire roster, and they know it. I made their outfit theme Galaxy, and their weapon a rapier that can lengthen or shorten its unbendable blade and burn through enemies like a lightsaber. In the end, I don't think I captured the Galaxy theme terribly well, aside from the color palette. They have a lot of contrast between really dark purples, medium magentas, and the glowing underside of their cloak. In terms of combat, the cloak would probably get in the way, so they'd whisk it aside all dramatically, Descalay style, but otherwise it's a pretty good way for them to show off. The sketching process for both of them was weird. I don't know if perhaps I'd gotten too used to working on my laptop, or maybe not doing any illustrations for a bit in favor of schoolwork, maybe a little rusty, but the entire time I felt like I was forgetting my own art style, even when they looked fine when I zoomed out and stared at them. That aside, coloring them was an absolute blast. I think Robyn's took me a total of 4 hours and Juno's took me 3, but I enjoyed every second of it, and I quite like how they turned out in the end. If you like this video and want to know more about my characters, I do have a few other videos on them. One where I talk about the main 5, and one about Tyrion. Definitely more will come out in the future, as I love these guys. If you want, I can also make one where I yap about Juno, and by extension the Victorian cast. Just let me know in the comments if that's something you'd like to see. With that, I'll leave you with the sketch time lapses yet again, because I still don't know how to write conclusions.